This video is sponsored by Willard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your service today. Now, let's get to an aspect of his game that I think is misconstrued. I feel like this is something fans or haters or whoever tend to think he's not good at for whatever reason. I can't tell you why. I don't know. But deep ball Dak is real. Okay? The numbers back it up. The tape backs it up. Now, if you want to talk about year one, year two, sure. Year one, year two, year three. Early, young Dak Prescott was not a guy that was A, good at throwing the deep ball from an accurate, consistent standpoint, or B, even wanted to throw the deep ball that much. Okay, so I don't put this on the restore part of his game. I think this is something that they need to lean on a bit more. Now, I'm not saying go all risk it or biscuit, but what I'm saying is Dak can throw that thing. And 2019 is where I think Dak Prescott kind of came out of his shell from a passer standpoint. And obviously that trajectory to me made sense for a dual threat quarterback, 4th round quarterback coming out of college. Some people might say, well, why did it take him 2 years? We got to be realistic here. This isn't a guy that was going to come in here and be this proficient dice you up passer. That's not what he was. He was more of a project from a quarterbacking standpoint that learned really quickly. Now, when we say deep ball, we're talking 20 plus yards in the air. Last year, he was 6th in attempts, 5th in completion percentage, 4th in touchdowns, and 6th in rating. 2019, he was 6th in attempts, 6th in completion percentage, 3rd in touchdowns, 6th in rating. And in 2020, the reason why I use these 2 years, y'all, was because it was his last 2 years as a full-time starter. In 2020, he was on the trajectory to surpass his 2019 year. So I don't think we need to coddle that part of his game anymore. And I don't think they are doing that necessarily. Because if you look at, again, the attempts, since Kellen has been here, the attempts have went up. But here's why I don't necessarily give that credit all to Kellen Moore. I give that credit, to me, to Jon Kitna. I've said this for a long time. Mike McCarthy not keeping Jon Kitna, to me, was more of a gut punch than keeping Kellen Moore. Like, cool, you're going to keep Kellen Moore, all right. But I felt like Jon Kitna not only was going to help continue to elevate Dak as a passer, but he's a guy that I think that could have checked Kellen Moore's ass. And maybe that's why the Cowboys decided not to keep him. Maybe it was a Cowboy call. But I remember when Jon Kitna was hired, there was a video that came out where he talked about his time under Mike Martz. And when I saw that video, I said, he is going to help Dak immensely as a passer. Not that Dak was some quarterback that's a stupid quarterback or anything like that. He's a hard worker, and I thought he was going to get better regardless. But this is why coaching matters. I want to show you guys this video that if you guys didn't see it before, this will be your first time seeing it. Just listen to Jon Kitna talk about certain aspects from a mental standpoint that helped him become a more aggressive quarterback. And I think you saw that trickle down to Dak Prescott. This is Jon Kitna, I believe, at his high school, speaking on Mike Martz at practice. Take a listen to this show.
628 F flat. Now, I'll never forget 628 F flat. First play of 7-on-7, and I dropped back, and we got the 15 or 20-yard dig over here, and we got the drag coming like this, and they're in Tampa too, and the Will linebacker drops back. You know, he floats back, so I come back, boom. I hit the tight end coming across, and he gets 7 or 8 yards, and I'm feeling good about myself. And I walk over to Coach Martz because he used to stand off to the side, and you'd have to go over and get the play to him. I walk over there.
For those who don't know who he's talking about, Coach Martz is Mike Martz, the architect of the greatest show on turf in St. Louis, and then he was a head coach for a little bit there. Made Mark Bolger become a Pro Bowl quarterback. So that's who he's talking about, is Mike Martz, the offense coordinator.
Shoot, I'm feeling good. I walk over like this, stand next to Coach Martz, and he has no expression on his face. And he's got his little play sheet like this, and he says, why didn't you throw the dig? And he doesn't even look at me. Why didn't you throw the dig? And I said, well, you see, I saw a cover 2, and I saw the linebacker, he started drifting back and da-da-da. So he said, why do we call dig? I said, for cover 2. He said, so did you get cover 2? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm not asking you to evaluate what happens elsewhere. If we get cover 2 and we call dig, throw the dig.
Real quick before I keep going there. Does anybody think Kellen Moore is saying that to Dak Prescott?
And he looked at me, finally lifted his eyes up. He looked at me and said, I can't coach caution. And it was like this. For 10 years, I've been coached to be cautious. Hey, it's better to you always take a profit, da-da-da. And here was this coach saying, when I call it, and if you get what we're looking for, you rip it. And if something goes wrong, that's on me.
Jon Kitna.
And I'll take the bullet. And he did it over and over for me. And it freed me up. For 2 years, I threw for 4,000 yards each year with him. And I learned more football in those 2 years than I learned in the other 14 years combined.
This, to me, and I'm going to run it back a little bit here, that to me really resonated when I went back and watched it. I believe it was like 2 years later, maybe a year later. And I was like, you saw that. You saw it from Dak. You saw it click really from game 1. If you go back and you watch game 1 of 2019, you saw the mechanics. I talked about this, and I wish I had the video still. I said, wow, you see his back foot stand down more than it used to. Jon Kitna talked about that in some of his interviews. You see him taking those aggressive chances more than he ever did. Right away to Michael Gallup, boom, deep shot. And I understand 2019 was weird. I get starts great offensively and gets weird under Kellen. That's just been the trajectory. But again, this isn't about the totality. This is about Dak. From a Dak Prescott going to the next level as a passer, that year was crucial. And that man, Jon Kitna, was crucial for it. When he said, for 10 years, I've been coached caution. That is real. That happened with Dak. And it's understandable. 4th round pick, I said, coming out, dual threat pick. It wasn't it wasn't Joe Burrow coming out of college. We're like, yo, sling it. Scott Linehan coached caution. Right? First 3 years, 16, 17, 18. If you go look at his deep throws, it was like 43, 47, 53. That's it. Go look at his deep throws the last 2 seasons. He's above 70. He ranks in the top 6 in that category, where he would have ranked in the bottom 15 in those attempts. And what I loved was the part where he talked about, hey, take that shot. If it's interception, that's on me. That's on me, baby. You need that, man. And I'm not in there. I'm just speculating in regards to Kellen Moore. And, like I always tell y'all, just taking what I've been told about him. I can't see Kellen having that kind of demeanor. I know he didn't have that kind of demeanor, but I'm not in those meeting rooms. But I can't see him telling Dak Prescott, hey, man, take it. That's on me. In fact, he came out and flat out told us, hey, man, take what the defense gives you. Don't take that. Just take what the defense gives you. Okay? That's on me. So he did. It felt like that, Craig. I'm with you. He said Dak was very tentative last year. Not at first, right? Like, not at first. He got real tentative, I think, after the offense got weird. Obviously, the injuries. Obviously, the running game wasn't there. Obviously, the offensive line and things like that. But I'm trying to just focus on him himself. It felt like he could have done a little bit more from an aggressive standpoint later on, and maybe his confidence wasn't there. But that's where I think you need to coach and say, hey, man, just go. Let her rip. Mike Martz was that way. Jon Kitna was that way. Fantastic video, and I think you can see the correlation between Kitna and Dak in that year, man. I do. This video is brought to you by Willard Heating and Air Conditioning. Willard is your go-to destination for air conditioning, heating, air quality, insulation, duct work, and more. They've served the DFW area for over 30 years, and with their 100% money-back guarantee and 24/7 emergency service available, it's no surprise they have the best client reviews in the business. We know how brutal these summer months can be without the proper AC, which is why you need to call Willard Heating and Air Conditioning today. They'll keep your home cool with the highest air quality with the guaranteed top-notch customer service. It's only getting hotter here in Dallas, so schedule your service appointment today at willardac.com.